Okay, we got the Claas Disco 3150TC tire conditioner. This mower is approximately right at 11 feet wide. Cut is 3-point hitch mounted, 540 PTO driven, and this sucker is heavy as hell. It is built very well. Alright, let's swing her out. Okay, I'm going to do something I normally don't do. I'm going to fire it up and let it run. It's got a bunch of dirt on top of the cutter bar, so I'm going to turn it on and let it blow it off. Alright, here we go. One thing I don't like about this machine is this. You have these little tabs on the front cover that you have to turn sideways, and they're, I think they're 9/16 or 15 millimeter. I forget what they are. So you have to have a wrench on you just to get this open. Sometimes, evidently this one was unlocked. To get them open. These things are heavy. Now it does have a lock that locks it up, so that way you ain't got to worry about holding it up. This mower has 7 turtles on it. It's tine. This is your compression plate. Pulls down. Everything on it's built heavy like this mower. It has the same pull down bar to change the blades. Get back here and look at the tines. Now these tines are steel. They're not plastic. They're made out of metal, so they don't wear out as fast. They have rubber bushings in here for impact, and I haven't had to replace any yet. This plate is your compression plate, and it pushes down, and all these do is they break the stalks. They put like little crimps in them and kind of crack them a little bit, so that way the water can drain out. It doesn't squeeze it. We had a Coon roller conditioner before this one, but about all a good Coon the rollers are good for is if you're using it on alfalfa or something you don't want a leaf to fall off of. Now if you're doing fescue or maybe Bermuda or something like that, you want tines. Come around here and I'll show y'all how to adjust your tilt. Adjustment is here. This is what changes your cut height. It has a gauge, and you just turn this handle and you can adjust your tilt on the mower. The other thing it has is right here is your compression to tighten down on how much squeeze you want is right here. It has 4 large springs to help carry it and float over the ground. The chains pick up the cutter bar, and these are also extra braces for it. The fins, as y'all know, on most conditioners is to compress for if you've got real wet ground, say it's rain, you want to pull it in so that way your ground can dry and then ted it out. So that way, because if you can't get the ground underneath the hay to dry, it takes twice as long to get the hay to dry out. Now if it's hot summertime, or if your ground's not dry and it hadn't rained in a while, you want these as wide as they'll go, so that way your hay gets the most sunlight on. That's one of the benefits of having a conditioner. You get the compression or crimp, and you get windrows or no windrows if you want it that way. These just fold down. These are your protective skirts. When you're in road transport, you fold these up and it narrows it up. Hold on a minute, my wife's calling. Okay, got off on her. Now this mower was bought last year. We had a coon, and the reason why we got rid of the coon, it was still a good mower, but one of the rollers, the rubber was starting to peel off of it, and we didn't want to have to pay to put a new roller in it, so we just took it and traded it in for a new one, so that way we could ride it off and everything. But the bearings for the main drive is just a simple normal bearing. You can get it any local place. You just pop them off and stick some new ones on. These are pretty easy to work on. They're pretty accessible to get just parts. A lot of places where you ain't got to go back to Claas, and some stuff you have to. Try and think. I mean, that's about it. I mean, I'll just pan around so y'all can see it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good machine. I really like this one a lot. It has a fold down jack. I like that. It'd been nice if it had been adjustable for height, so that way when I hook it on the back of my truck, I've got a thing made so you can hook this into a receiver hitch on the back of your pickup or truck. I'll show that in another video one day. And sometimes it's nice if you'd have an adjustment to go up and down on the jack, but it works out. I'll make a video of me doing that whenever we get ready. You have your blade box just like the 2650 regular mower I showed y'all. It holds blades. Your pry bar is in here. To change your blades, you just pull that spring, it slides out. Now this is also Econo. You can run this thing, I think it's at 500 revolutions per minute instead of 540. Another good feature about this Claas that I like, the regular disc mower didn't have this, and I don't know if the newer ones do or not, but if y'all notice on these skid plates there's this plate right here. Now what we've always done in the past is we would, instead of buying the new skids, we would always take these whenever we bought them and have plates welded on the bottom of them, just strips about 6 inches wide, and we would have them welded to the bottom of the skids, and that way we would never have to buy these skids because they're so expensive. Well, Claas has went a step further, and they have made these plates to go on these. They have a little tongue, it slides up into the front of your skid, and then it bolts with 2 bolts on the back of this, and you can just take those off and replace them instead of having to buy new skids. It's basically what we were doing, but you could take them off and replace them. Now we welded some on the regular disc mower that we have. Now their newer disc mowers may have that, but I'm not sure. But I really like that about this one, because it came with that, and I don't have to go get those welded on. I can just take those off and go buy some, or make them myself. Y'all can see the back of it. It's extremely built heavy. All Claas equipment's made with grade 1 or A, or how they grade them, steel. Most of your equipment that you buy is not, like Krone and several other manufacturers. They don't use the grade A or grade 1. They use grade B or 2. I forget what it's called, but on their machinery. And that's why, one reason why that neck probably broke on that mower we had is because it was cheaper steel. Now Claas is known for using the best steel there is in their machinery, and you can tell it whenever you hook up to one because they're heavy. The way these lockups work for this hood is it has this pin that sits in here. You just pull it sideways and it'll come back down. Or you get ready to let it down. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. See, it comes sideways and you just let it fall down. And it's a full steel top, and it has the canvas skirts around the bottom. This one is a little bit unique. It has a step-up system to it, where most of them I've ever seen weren't quite that steep. It is a little bit funny looking compared to most of them. I really like this conditioner. It's the only other one we ever had was a Coon, and this one is twice as good as that Coon was. And that Coon was a dang good mower. I mean, it was a really good mower, and I liked it a lot. But I bought the Claas mower that we had and the Claas baler that we had, and by the service I had gotten out of those, and as much as I liked them, yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. I wanted to try Claas because I've had excellent service out of all their equipment, and that's what we got. It did come from our buddy Kane, so I'll get his little thing in there. So it did come from him, just like the 4610. I got this hooked up to the 5400. This is primarily what I pull it with, the 5400. I have pulled it with 4610. It handles it just fine. This mower is actually easier to pull than the Coon, even though it is a lot heavier. It just floats across the ground a lot better. If you get in a dip, the Coon was bad to hang and bind. This one here just floats nicely across the ground and drags a lot better than it did. I went with a 3-point instead of the tongue because the tongue was bad to bind. If you're on flat ground, tongues are great because it's easy to hook up and everything. But the problem is with those tongues, you have these compression plates around your bar. And if you're on hilly ground, as you go through bends and stuff and that thing's twisting, it puts a lot of pressure on this joint right here on these necks. And we had this to break on the Coon, and the plates right here that the boxes went on broke on the Coon on the count of it. So that is why I went with the 3-point this time instead of the drawbar, because we wanted the drawbar to hook up to the truck. Now, with the thing that I have made for this 3-point, it works. I'd 10 times rather recommend this if you can get one of those things like I have made, and I'll show that in a later video. But with these, you have a tilt forward and backwards like this, and then there's also a pivot pin side to side like that. So you never really put this machine in a hard bind in its mounting area on the back of the tractor, which is something that I really looked for when we bought this. Now, Massey's Heston mower that they sell that doesn't have this pivot gearbox design. The problem with those is when you're turning without the pivot, you get into the neck and your tires rub and you can't turn sharp enough to spin around and go back. So you have issues with that in turns. So that was why we did not go with the Massey. I had actually looked at the Massey mower and was going to buy that mower, and that was why we went with this route. And to be honest, the Heston, as I've explained in the problem with Heston video that I made, is the mower itself is just too light. I know the design several years ago was a great design, and it's was one of the best designs out there, but it's just too cheap. I mean, it's just too light. It's too light of a package. I can't use it on my farm because it's not heavy enough. Now, somebody that's baling a lot less hay than I am, probably no more than 1,000 rolls a year, could probably get by with that mower and it'd last them a long time. But for my operation, it would never hold up. So that's why I didn't go with it. I wanted to buy a Massey, because y'all know I'm a Massey man, but they just didn't have a product for me. And the heavier mowers that they have, or I believe are Fellas, or I can't remember who makes them. It pivots in the center. It's a center pivot mower. It's a lot heavier and it's the mower I need, but it's too wide for my roads. Now these new mowers that's coming out that are 14 or 15 foot width, but pivot in the center, and then the wheels turn and you can drag that mower down the road sideways, and it will only be 8 foot wide but have a 14 foot cut. Now that's something I could buy, and that would make me a lot of money. But the cost there is still too high. Those mowers are going to have to be out for a while and get more popular, and they're going to have to bring the price down some for me. I just can't feasibly pay for something like that yet. But I would love to have a mower that's 12 to 14 foot cut, because it would save me a bukus of time. That's the Claas 3150 TC. I really like it. Y'all stay tuned. This year, this thing's going to be the first mower to hit the field, because the first month of hay, we don't use anything but this, and I run it basically day and night. So me and the 5400 spend a lot of hours pulling this thing, and then it'll be pulling the 360 variant too. So that's where all the hours come on this thing. I might hook the 4610 up to this bad boy for the first month and just put hours on it, and then bail just with the 5400. But I don't know, we'll see. It's just all what I want to do. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.